I do wonder what Jane. No.
Just say it. It's the last thing you can say that won't go in. That won't go out to the public because we do have 2 sponsors today.
I do wonder about the amount of men that.
I hope they have. It's nothing. It's nice to be. It's nice to be wanted, isn't it?
It's nice to be nice.
Yeah. Right. Do you know what I'm hearing a lot, Flav? Do you know what I'm hearing a lot of?
What are you hearing a lot, James? I don't know.
Let's play blankety blank football edition.
Okay.
5-word phrase. I'm hearing it a lot. And I've heard it a lot over the last 24 hours, in particular last night, as we recorded this on Tuesday night. I'll give you a word within it. One word that's in there. Go.
So it's 5.
It's a 5. It's a 5 phrase.
It's time to go. No, that's only 4. No. Okay, give me another one.
Has.
He has to go to no, that's 6. Jeez.
No,
he has to go.
Oh,
that's
sugar.
4. What?
Yeah, no, I got it wrong. So it's a 6-word phrase. A 6-word phrase. He has to go tonight. I'm hearing it everywhere. But who am I hearing it about?
I weirdly, for the first time in a long time, I think it can only be about one possible manager in the Premier League.
That said, in this podcast, I wouldn't mind doing some panic. Panic. I can't.
Yeah.
It's a bad start for Jim. Panic rankings.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Like, where's Arne Slot right now?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. But like in terms of the or even fan bases within that, I've got a list of people here. I mean, we could do this straight off the bat if you'd like to. But obviously, we do need to talk about Chelsea. They seem to be in disarray. The season's in disarray.
Can I hasten a guess that the thumbnail and title might be about Chelsea?
Probably. Yeah.
Right.
It's either that or the panic rankings, depending how well they go.
Well, then you as a sort of seasoned YouTube content creator, you're much more than that now, Jim. But as someone who knows the game, you tell me where we should start.
I think Liam is the story here. It's I've never seen. This feels new. It feels, in the sort of he has to go tonight. I've heard that a million times before. Yet this somehow feels fresh in a way that is sort of surprising. And I think there's a confusion amongst. The best analogy I've seen was Nini from Blue Lions TV, who I do enjoy watching his stuff. I think he's a very smart man. And he said, I'm so sick of this blurry future. I feel like I'm trying to see my hand and all I can see is fog. And I thought, I absolutely get what you're saying. And I think that's really, really interesting. And true, and probably a feeling that Chelsea fans aren't used to, really, because even if they've not been able to kind of totally see far past their hands, they have been able to see their hands, and in their hands have been trophies. But now, as I heard Nini say that, he said, "I feel like I can't see where we're going." I was like, "That's pretty much the rest of us." That is the rest of us. I don't really know where we're going, but it's a new space for Chelsea fans to be getting to the first point of exhaustion of not knowing that you're moving forward, especially when you've got all the advantages, broadly speaking, as a very high profile club with lots of money that have spent a lot of money.
James, you sort of tapped into something that I wanted to come on to later, and I might leave it for later around what's happening at Leicester and what someone said on TalkSport, but it's around that. It's how much, in terms of how confident you are and how content you are with your football club, it's very narrow in terms of a timescale. Like,
are we going there? Are we going there? Are we going deep now?
I don't want to not say it, but I think if
we'll definitely do it. I promise, because we'll definitely
remember
do it.
Though, because I'll forget.
Let's go back to the sort of the surface level of it then. So the Chelsea fans are obviously annoyed, right? And understandably so, in a different way to Spurs fans, I would say.
I don't think understandably so. By the way,
Sorry?
I think you have had everything. You've had your wildest dreams come true. Now's a bit of difficulty for you. Suck it up. That's what I think. Anyway, Karen.
Okay. And absolutely. It's sort of understanding and sympathy are two incredibly different emotions for me here, and I don't have any. I'm not feeling sorry for them, but I understand that you would think 1 + 1 billion equals £1,000,001,000, but it's not. That's not occurring here. And you find yourself in I thought the Brighton game was so weird in the sense of the fallout from it, for example, seeing that group so lost on the pitch. I'm confused and conflicted as to how good is that? How good are those players? And also, like I don't know if you saw like the post-match like moments, both Liam Rosenior's sort of comments and his whole situation, which I think we should definitely get to, because he's the one who's probably going to go tonight or tomorrow, wherever it might be. But also like that group of players sort of standing there staring at the fan base, which is something you sort of see in the Bundesliga sometimes, and you see it in Serie A sometimes. Yeah. But in the Premier League, and for how long Enzo Fernandez was just stood there, I'm conflicted as to how genuine. How genuine was it? What if it was genuine? What was the emotion behind it? There's just so much at play here, I think.
No, I think that was the deliberate thing. It's almost like I'm not going back into that changing room with him. I am with. Oh, what's that? I am with you. I am absolutely with you. And that's. He's basically leveraging his position, saying, like, I think that Rosenior is going to be gone. And as Chelsea fans, and as me, as a World Cup winner, I understand your frustration because I feel it too. Therefore, I'm going to stand in... Is that
how you read that situation, isn't it?
Yeah, I did. And the reason why I say that is because they have absolutely given up without 100%. Now, I said this earlier on the podcast, because I've got a podcast called The Lab, and we were talking about what's happened. We were breaking down what's actually happened this season on the pitch at Spurs.
Right.
And players giving up is a difficult thing to see because they're of such quality. Anyone in the Premier League is of such quality that they can play at 70% and it still look like they're good enough to play for anyone, pretty much, right?
Right.
But it's that next bit, it's the next 10, 20%, which actually turns them in the competitive side, the one that's going to listen to a manager. So as a Premier League manager, you have 70% across the board. What can you do with those players? Can you motivate them to get them out of that? And the problem is everyone's got the players and pundits, and a lot of this was aimed at the Chelsea players. Gary Cahill, for example, came out and said the players had let him down. They're in a situation where... and any manager in the Premier League is in a situation where you have a great group of players, right, who can compete with the right messaging, the right motivation. The problem at Chelsea is Enzo Fernandez and other players have played under great coaches, have won major trophies, and we predicted it would happen with Blueco and Clear Lake, whoever it is, and Holdco, this company at the top of Chelsea that have lost £600 million this season. Everybody thinks that these players can just play, that they can just, because they're professionals, but because they're multi-millionaires and all the things, they should be able to deal with this. But the problem is they've got Liam Rosenior in front of them, and that's the issue. Blueco employing him, bringing him from Strasbourg, and expecting the players to just go, yeah, all right, we're going to buy into your weird model as well. They're just footballers. They're great footballers, but they're just footballers, and they need managers to come in and get something extra out of them to compete in the Premier League, where the level has never been higher, I think.
Yeah.
So that's Liam Rosenior's fault.
Right. Is that what you're saying? Oh, interesting. Okay. So I agree.
You agree with all of it?
No, I don't. I think there is I do find it really interesting. Like I sort of wanted to just update myself on the situation, right? And is it Carve, whatever his name is, the guy from Sky Sports News? He was reporting the news on this. That's the news. Okay, these are the facts. And he was suggesting that the issue might be. He said that the owners, and by the time this comes out, he might have even been gone. Liam Rosenior, obviously, he's got an FA Cup semi-final, so he literally might be celebrating at Wembley this weekend, which is bizarre, isn't it? Would
you chop him now, or would you give him Leeds? What difference does it make? He's a dead man walking.
What difference does it make? What I guess the difference that it makes is is the team better off going into that final, having him there or not having him not there?
I believe wholeheartedly, having supported a Spurs team that sacked Jose Mourinho before a League Cup final. Not sure.
Are you comparing Jose Mourinho to Liam Rosenior right now?
Yeah, well, we were willing to sack.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying we were willing to sack Jose Mourinho. In that instance, we lost 1-0 with Ryan Mason managing a team against Guardiola.
Right. But hang on, whoa. What's your point there?
My point is,
did it work? Are you saying it worked? Because it didn't.
I guess my point is, that wasn't a great comparison, and Liam Rosenior should be sacked because the players have absolutely jumped ship.
Well, I have a slightly different view on it, because I think there's a triangle of issues here, right? But one thing that Carve said, which I was like, wow, is that where we are? He was saying, I think the big thing is that Enzo Maresca, it turns out, was doing quite a good job. And the problem here, the clear problem here, is that Liam Rosenior doesn't have the aura. And
yes.
He was suggesting that aura is hard to find. Now, I would disagree with that, because with aura frames, you've got the easiest gift you can get out there.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
With unlimited storage.
And
some incredible stuff. So it could be easier to use, the aura frame. So I would suggest that aura is neither priceless or difficult to get.
James, you know what I love about that is that photo of us too. I probably saw my most favourite image. Go back.
It's a great bit. I don't think I can go back, but
you can scroll back that way.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
God, this can do everything. Incredible.
Play videos as well and sound.
It does play videos. Shall I show you my goal?
Yeah, that picture is me and Jim, and I haven't thought about that for a while. But that was a picture of me and Jim when we were working on a show for.
And whoa! Ben Bowman's there as well. See Ben? Hang on, let me just go back. See Ben? Oh, that's me and Steve.
Can I just have 2 minutes away from Ben Bowman still in my limelight?
This podcast is sponsored by Aura Frames. We'll get back to Chelsea in just 1 second, but it's crucial for you guys to know that, life feels limited, doesn't it, sometimes, Flav? But what isn't limited is the unlimited storage that you can get, and also you could preload photos on your Aura frame if you are looking to give it to someone. It is the easiest gift to give. You can share your photos and videos effortlessly, and of course, crucially, and I do mean crucially.
And just so you know,
the gift box is included.
Is that going to Mumsy?
That'll be Mumsy's, yeah.
Is that Mum's?
That's Mum's, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The
other thing you could do is I like the idea of buying your mate one, because
nice.
once you've linked you can link your phone to the frame. You can say, "Oh, no, I just bought you this because we can share pictures of each other." Put that in your front room, mate. That's quality. But you have already linked. Listen to it. You've already linked your phone to his frame.
Yes.
And then you can do what you like because of a simple selection from the gallery into the Aura app. It takes like 2 seconds. You've uploaded a picture, whatever picture you want, onto the frame, into his living room. Think of the fun you can have with that.
Yeah, think of the fun you can have with that. Think of the messages you can offer. And even if we let's take a dark turn. I think we saw we had a comment, didn't we, a few months ago, where a man had found that his wife was cheating on him and used it for revenge. So, whatever you want to get across, you can do so beautifully with Aura frames, the perfect gift every time. And for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.co.uk to get £25. That's £25 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. They're in the top frame by The Independent. Creditable. By using promo code JAFFEN at checkout. That's AURA frames.co.uk. Promo code JAFFEN. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Don't be dry. Use the code Jaffen. Terms and conditions apply.
£25 off when you use the code Jaffen.
That's Jaffen.
The link is in the description, Jim.
It is. Said that. Thank you very much. Back to Chelsea. The aura thing I get. So here's my triangle with the Chelsea thing. You've got people having to go at the owners, right? And I get that. And then people kind of saying this guy's not capable in terms of Liam Rosenior. People are also suggesting that if you're being kinder to Liam Rosenior, you're going, this isn't fair on him. What was he supposed to do? And therefore you then go back and revert to the owners being the ones to blame here. I think the other side of the triangle is the players. Because the players, and again, do you want to blame them for this or not? I think when you are given that length of contract and you are a talented footballer, that sort of kind of, what's the word, like undercurrent of hunger is a sort of, this doesn't work, but it's eroded, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it is.
And do you know what made me think about this was I went to QPR Swansea yesterday. The most deadest of rubbers I've ever seen, right? It was incredible. Bad. Anyway, we lost 1-0. Oh, no, we lost 2-1. But anyway, well, it was a penalty. It should have been. It was outside the box. It wasn't fair. But the point was, we were rotating the team, right, a little bit. We had a lot of youngsters there. And we were sort of missing some of these sort of senior players, right? And the team, even the good players that were sort of left in the team, there wasn't a sort of glue of, I guess, leadership or personality connecting them, right? And we brought on the subs, which were those players. And the transformation was pretty incredible. And then I obviously see that Chelsea are losing, and I'm listening to what's happened on the way back with good old Jason Cundy and Jamie Hara. And the thing that kind of struck me from watching that game and then thinking about the Chelsea squad was the biggest issue with that group. Obviously, it is the youth, but it's the youth and the sort of mix of the youth, the lack of hunger that comes from the security and the kind of money, and then you've not got 2 or 3 guys that are just going to really knit it together, but keep the standards high and deal with the pressure when you're on a bad run. And when you look at Man City, I'm thinking about, we've done Bernardo Silva for the Premier League this week. His ability just to be comfortable on the ball and resolve issues. And the Man City squads over the years, they've always had those guys. They've had, Vincent Kompany or Fernandinho or David Silva, or Gundogan, or the sort of guy that will put his hand up and fix and solve. And I just look at that Chelsea squad, this is the human element of what makes a team and how a team is able to cope under pressure, which we're seeing probably in a slightly different way the phrase I used in the video this week was the sort of technical bravery of the Arsenal team. There's maybe not enough of those guys there, or they're not being afforded the opportunity to kind of show that element of themselves. But that human element of it has been completely sort of forgotten and lost. And it's hurting that group of players individually. It's therefore hurting the team, which is therefore hurting the manager, who is also, he has the same problems from a managerial point of view as the players do from a playing point of view.
Correct.
So it's the owner's fault for me.
I mean, there's fault everywhere. Wherever you look, there's fault. It's there's players not buying into what's been asked of them, despite their many riches. There's a manager who's doing his best, but probably shouldn't have accepted a job, but he's always going to. But must have known he was a company man, and also must have had an ego to think that despite all these challenges, of which had been listed at every outlet, of every article, of every podcast spoken about that appointment, everyone was saying, it doesn't feel right. And then when he gave his interviews, it was always almost made worse. Can we pull it? Can we just pull it the company man thing that you're talking about there? What do you, when you say he wouldn't have got a job if he wasn't a part of the company
already? Okay, so it's not a sort of who he is as a person in the sense of know, because company man to me sort of screams doesn't have any grit or backbone.
No, I don't think that of him at all. I think he has a lot of backbone and he has grit in his own way. That wasn't a criticism. I'm just saying he got the job because he worked within. He was employed within rather than them going outside and thinking who's the best man of the job. We've got this guy who's already really good. Sometimes that works. Brighton did that with
Brentford.
No, Brighton did it as well. I can't remember who it was. Paul Barber employed. It was an ex-player. I think he's now the director of football. I can't remember. But they looked within and said, what have we got? Who have we got here that understands what we're trying to do? And can he take over from Dan Ashworth when he left for Newcastle? And they did. They employed within. I can't remember the geezer's name. I'll find it when you next speak. But the point is they had someone who understood the environment and the surroundings, and they thought that bloke could do a good job. And it's the same with all of these big clubs now. They all have a structure in place, which means we can circumnavigate whether or not or when a manager implodes or underachieves. So I'd say a case in point would be Manchester United, right? So Areola's gone. Areola, sorry.
You're thinking of tits again.
He left. He got sacked.
Amorim.
Amorim, sorry. Ariel is also a surname, by the way. He got sacked, and they were able to bring Carrick in. Now, this system kind of works, and in some clubs they have a different model. Arsenal, they've moved away from that because Arteta is the main guy. They have it at Man City, but it's clearly that Guardiola is the main guy. But the point I'm making is what they thought they had with Rosenior is someone who could just understands his role, understands his place in the structure we've created, which is fine, which is a positive. But perhaps when they employed him, didn't account for his charisma or lack thereof, or his command, or his ability to inspire. So they just brought him in because he worked for them previously. It worked at Strasbourg. Why wouldn't it work at Chelsea? And it just shows, and to your point, James, yes, the border of the problem. And it always comes down to the decision making from the top when things go wrong on the pitch. Eventually, it might take a long time to happen. It might happen in a couple of weeks. But I think Todd Bowley and Gbali think that they know more about football than everybody else. I think that's it. And it's to the point that Todd Bowley made himself director of football when he first joined.
Yeah. So because that's to the company. That's why I wanted to pull at it, because I was like, did that group, did the ownership, did they really think? Let's say everyone's got good intentions. Let's do it that way. Which, right? If they're going, we think this guy will be the answer, will bring success. How did the only way they think
that way?
I mean, surely you got to think that way. Surely.
Oh, no, I think that they think that they will bring success, and I think the head coach is a part.
And he'll do as he's told. Yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately we will get this right because we know so much.
Right, exactly. That's because if you're going, we need a guy who we think can bring us success. It's just not him, not in a disrespectful way. On a CV level, it's just not him, right? So
no, of course.
Why do you put him into position? You're putting him in position to exactly your point, which is he'll do as he's told because we know best. And
Enzo Maresca didn't do as he's told. Although Enzo Maresca, as we've seen, is clearly more qualified and clearly more commanding of a squad's respect than Liam Rosenior is, but he wouldn't play ball, and therefore he lost his job. And Pochettino lost his job. And other managers that you would think should be managing Chelsea, De Zerbi even, Ancelotti, these managers that have previously been given license to manage in the way that they want to because Abramovich always gave them that freedom until they didn't perform. Those kind of managers are not. They would take the Chelsea job, but quickly realise that they're hamstrung, and that's the problem. And that's worrying for Chelsea fans. They've had a lot to worry about. Not that we're not. We don't care that we don't mind that they're worrying.
To be clear,
There's no sympathy here.
No,
but we understand where that worry may come from, is because where do they find the coach or the manager who will walk into that system that is immovable? It cannot be changed because it's how Todd Bowley and it's how Bluco want the club to be run. Who goes in there and is able to make this work? Because it isn't lack of talent. That they've got loads of good players. Esteval is a great footballer, a young but huge, like could be one of the greats in Europe if his career is managed. Cole Palmer is great. Liam Delap did really, really well for Ipswich last year.
I wouldn't have gone to Liam next, but yeah.
But my point is what's happening at that club to stifle that talent, and I can see that at Spurs as well. You've got players coming to Tottenham who have done well and so therefore earn their move, like Van der Ven to Werder Bremen, from Werder Bremen to was it Wolfsburg? I can't remember. To Tottenham. They've earned the right to play in the Premier League. And when they get there, it stagnates because of the environment that they have to play in. And at Chelsea, I can't see a world where, and it's not a bad world because they're going to finish top 6 probably. That might not this season, but they'll probably rebound to some degree in the short term, and they'll always be there or thereabouts unless it goes really bad.
It can be you will know this. It can be too late though. Sometimes, right? Like, I think people are conflating two things quite easily because it's there for us to see a pattern, right? In the sense of Tottenham really struggle, then it gets even worse. Man United maybe to a similar point as well. And with Chelsea, because with Chelsea, with the amount of money that has been spent, if you don't have Champions League football, which it looks like that's not going to happen, you're then getting, I presume the finances are going to be incredibly, they're starting to get to a position where you can't, because you've been bad, you're not going to sell some of these younger guys for much anyway. Like Garnacho is obviously massively struggling right now. People think he's very poor. And so how much are you going to sell him for? And so if you then get to a point where you have to sell, then who are you going to sell? You're going to have to sell.
Why buy Garnacho? Where did that come from? Where was that motivation? You have so much in that area of the pitch that you didn't need to do that. When you had centre-backs that weren't fit for purpose or injury stricken, as Colwell was, right? So you think, like, what is the motivation to buy someone like Garnacho? And it is because it fits the model of the kind of player that they want to buy because there is an upside to it. Mm. And not only that, they give them a 7 or 8 year contract. These players then say, I've got a contract. I literally could do nothing but turn up for training. And I am secured for 8 years on 75 grand a week. I am set for life. You can't operate like that. And this is the problem. They've come in, Todd Bowley and Bluco, and they thought, we're going to rip this up and we're going to do things differently. We found a way. And they haven't found a way.
And because the broad strategy makes sense, but the thing that is being completely forgotten here is the human element. And like you say the difference between being able to win games in the Premier League and to go on like your worst run since 1912, which, just to be clear, it's not, is it? Because if you're in a lower division, you're on a worse run. But anyway, it's the 10, 15...
Why'd you make that point?
It annoyed me yesterday when it was like, it's the worst run since 1912. So, fucking hell. But...
hang on a second. Let me pick you up on that, James, just for a second. Sorry, keep hold of that thought in your head. Okay. If you go on a worse run in the Championship, that's worse than in the Premiership because the standard is very different. If you go on a better run in the Championship, it doesn't count if you haven't done it in the Premier League. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, who's on a worse run right now? Chelsea or Leicester? Leicester, aren't they? Because they've just been relegated to League One and had back-to-back relegations. But they have scored once in the last 5 games. So do you know what I mean? So anyway, but the point is of that 10 or 15%, it's the sort of do or die of your career is not there for them. It's not like they probably are trying, but it's the silk pajamas phrase, isn't it? Like that's the problem for these kids, and I think these young footballers. And I think they've also the way that it is in football. You have everything is done for you, like through the academy element of it as well. So you kind of get to there, and then you get this crazy contract. How are you going to have that like A-star attitude. Like it's very difficult to have that A-star attitude, I would imagine. Like you've got to be 0.01% of the, of the 1% to have that. Like that's what, like say with Arsenal, for example, I think I've spoken about Arsenal a lot, but one thing I would say is that I think the attitude of that group is A-star. Like okay, like they might be struggling. I think they're struggling from like a sort of a, maybe a skill level or like the freedom to do that, a tactical element. But in terms of like who they are and how hard they work and all those things, they have an A-star attitude, those players. This Chelsea group, I think it's like they probably, a lot of them have gone, everyone's been saying, you're so talented, you're so talented, you're so talented. And now, so they've got A-star talent, but they've got a C attitude now. And so they're getting outdone by everyone else.
Where does the attitude of the Arsenal players come from? It's leadership, it's culture that's created. Like I don't think anyone's talked about culture this often in football than the recent, couple of years, where it's been clear where a club that has culture or moving in the right direction, that there's something going on behind the scenes, and it's always there. Like Ferguson created a culture, Guardiola must have done. Arteta definitely has. Whether you think it's funny or not, and all the pens and all the the cringy stuff from All or Nothing, it's got these players. They're bought into it, regardless of what we think. From his leadership, his ideas, and the freedom that he's been given from the owners or the director of football or Edu before him, it's given him the opportunity to create that culture. That's what you're seeing. The difference between Arsenal being able to compete consistently and go for the league title and 4 trophies, regardless of what everyone's laughing about, and it was very funny that the quadruple's gone and all that. But the reality is they were in that conversation because of what's been created, how hard they work. There were a game in the North London derby last season where I watched Arsenal players were building up around the box, putting pressure on, and we nicked it away. And I saw 6 or 7 of their players run as fast as they possibly could. It was insane how quickly they got back into shape because they've bought into what Arteta has coached them and put into their brains. And that's what's missing at lots of football clubs, but especially at Chelsea right now, is that he hasn't been able to create a culture because he shouldn't have been in the job. He doesn't have the gravitas, the resume, the playing career. He has nothing really that would persuade a doubting voice in that dressing room. And if one of those doubting voices is influential, Enzo Fernandez, you'd imagine, has some sway in that dressing room, it spreads out. You're done. You're done.
Yeah. And I think to drive standards, you need status, and status comes from age, from what you've like done in the past, like things like that. That's where because, and I think that's the problem here. When you've got like Roy Keane in a dressing room or Steve Cook in the Queen's Park Rangers dressing room, because he's older and he's been there and done it, he has the status to drive the standards. I think Liam Rosenior really wants to drive the standards. He just doesn't have the status amongst those players. And so if you've not got the status, how do you get that status? I think I watched this thing with Herzler, who's like a very young manager, right? And he has this owl in his office, and they were like, "What's the owl about?" And he said, it's a mentor or something said to him about an owl is a sort of creature that listens, that keeps his head on a swivel, and he listens, and it's there to remind me to listen and not always talk. And I think to that, and also he spoke about being consistent. I think, and it's hard for Liam Rosenior because you've got a microphone being put in front of you all the time. He's spoken too much for too long. Absolutely. For someone with his level of status. He doesn't have the status. He needed to be incredibly boring and incredibly sort of quiet so that when he spoke, you weren't rolling your eyes. And that's what's done him, I think.
So I rolled my eyes when I watched Arteta do the duck and the rabbit thing, right? I rolled my eyes. I was like, what? Oh, God, he's doing it again. What a cringe lord he is. And I was listening to our mutual friend, Dan Abrahams, and he was talking about that moment. He says, I understand why people rebelled against it to a certain degree, Jim. It was just that what he was saying in that, the hardest thing to do is to get everyone to see either the rabbit or the duck.
Yeah.
And if you can, you're onto a winner here. So How well is Hertz doing as well with Brighton, by the way? Because he has had a rocky patch.
He has had a rocky patch, but I think that's the thing that he doesn't have to deal with. Is there's a little bit of grumblings there were when they weren't kind of winning because they spent a lot of money, but it's the noise with these your big teams is crazy. Like to the point where we've done the Spurs pod, emergency pod, absolutely valid, right? We did an Arsenal one this week when the team is top of the league and in the Champions League semi-final, and today we were going, oh, should we do we're not going to be able to do it, but should we do a Chelsea emergency pod? And then we were like, well, they might be in the FA Cup final on Monday.
Yeah, so but that's all about the direction you feel like you're moving in. Do you feel like you're moving going forward or backwards? And again, it's kind of leaning into my thoughts about the Leicester fans and what they're feeling at the moment and what they've been talking about on TalkSport. But
let's talk about that.
Well, quickly before then, do you want to say about the Hertzler and stuff? Is what was he given that Liam Rosenior will never be given? And that is breathing space. What was Potter given? What was Frank given at these middle level? That's not a criticism, just a mid level in terms of expectation resource in the Premier League. They're given space to exist without listening to the noise. Don't worry about the noise. We believe in you. You're a part of this plan. We have a system. And also we have this culture and structure that will protect you. And Hertzler's football, like we were talking about Chelsea, and I'm sure Brighton fans would be, if they, I mean, not that they'd get it from us, because obviously we're going to have to play Chelsea, but often when you get you get analysis from TV, and they don't give the lesser team, the smaller team credit. And they were brilliant. The pressing last night was insane. They forced Chelsea. They found a weakened animal and they stood on its neck for 90 minutes. That's what it felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
And this was Hertzler was under pressure in terms of the narrative around the club. I bet he was never under pressure from Tony Bloom. I bet he was just saying, don't worry, keep doing what you're doing. We believe in you. There's a reason why you're here.
He sort of alluded to that in this video I watched on him, actually, that, and that allows you to sort of, and so instead of being a company man, you can, you're actually sort of freed up by sort of following this lovely stream that you've got, because you've got smart people there's a trust in the building. But that's the issue here. There's not the trust in the building, and I think that I have said on numerous occasions, the strategy makes sense from a numbers point of view, but only if it works, and for it to work, the human element of it needs to be completely remembered, because it can all fall down if that doesn't occur, and that is. So it isn't a good strategy because they're not thinking of that side of it, and that's what's absolutely killing them. And actually, you see it with Maresca, because he obviously did have that status to sort of to drive the standards as much as he could have, and he wanted to drive them more, and it wasn't afforded to him because he wasn't given what he felt he needed, and that has made him go massively backwards now.
Yeah, just while you were talking, then I was pretty sure I remember Brighton fans booing Hertzler. I didn't know if it was 100% correct. I did a quick Google, and I found this from The Guardian. Brighton were booed off by a small section of away supporters after the last-minute defeat to Fulham on the 23rd of January, when they had led until the 72nd minute. The following week, some even pointed the finger at Hertzler for bringing James Milner off the bench for his 652nd Premier League appearance as the reason Everton were able to score an equaliser in the 7th minute of stoppage time after 6 additional minutes had been announced. But the level of outrage that was directed towards the 32-year-old during the 1-0 defeat to Palace must still have come as a shock to Barber and the Brighton's owners, Tony Bloom. So Paul Barber is essentially their CEO. Chance of you don't know what you're doing started after a triple substitution that included the removal of highly rated Carlos Baleba. And I'm not having to go at Brighton fans or football fans here, but we are culpable here. We are part of the noise.
Yeah.
And
we flip-flop. I've noticed it myself, and again, I've flip-flopped on Arteta in the last 2 weeks. Really, you can't.
What do you mean you flip-flopped on?
I think we were all so certain that like they were going to win the league and that they would sort of move it forward and functionally get it right and get it done. And they're not doing that right now. And like I think Rosenior is just being eaten alive. And I don't think he's a sort of bad or poor manager. He's just not being empowered at all, and it's just not working. For Arteta, I think there feels like there's clear. I'm in a place where it's like this feels like it's on you a little bit as much as the players. Like,
so you know how I feel about this, James. I feel like it's winning a league trophy, and not from a Spurs fan, obviously, because I have no idea what it's like to win a league trophy. But looking from it objectively, you as a manager, you do what you can to get your team in a position where they can challenge for the league come April, May, and then sometimes resources or decisions that have been made previously about acquisitions, whatever it might be, come into play in the tail end. And especially when you have a foe as good as a Guardiola, who just knows how to do this. It's not a criticism of Arteta because he doesn't know how to do what Guardiola does. So for Arsenal to even be in the conversation for 3 seasons in the bounce, to me, is success. I think that I think it's crazy, and I've said this to you. I've said it on here loads of times. It's crazy to even question him.
But surely you can see what's occurring here. Like there is a clear issue at this stage of the season now. Like that is beyond doubt, in my opinion. And
if he wins nothing from here,
but even if he does win it,
you would understand.
It's been a real struggle to, you know, they're having, this is proper blip here, and if you want to be. He has to evolve. Like there has. But hasn't he been evolving
through the years?
I think he's gone from A to B. I don't think he's gone from B to C. That's my.
I think he has. Okay. I hate doing this, but I feel like I'm right about this, and not you, Jim, because this is a recent conversation. We're just talking here. We're in slightly different positions on the scale, but the atmosphere from some Arsenal fans. To suggest that he isn't the right manager for their football club is, to me, insane. Even if he wins nothing.
Yeah, sorry.
Even if he wins nothing, I'm saying.
Okay, I get what you feel that. I do think that it's a bit like Ranieri at Chelsea. Ranieri was really, really good and actually didn't do too much wrong and was moving forward, but they needed to go and get Mourinho.
I appreciate why you feel that, Jim. But he has shown a constant progression at Arsenal. I respect your feelings on this, James. But I feel like you're incorrect.
I very may well be. Do you respect that I have a different opinion to you? I respect it hugely. Do you mind? Do you mind if I turn up the taste? Would that be all right if I just turn up the taste whilst we're chatting?
I will as well, right? Because I had to turn it down earlier because it was a little bit too intense for me.
Really? I mean, I think the good thing... Look, the important thing is that we're both enjoying a great taste with a clear conscience whilst I turn up the taste with a little bit of syrup, which I can just save right here. This is cola ice pop I've gone for.
Did you go cola? I thought I was like, I'm not going to get that's too childish for me. I went elderflower and lime.
I'm a squidgy cheese butter boy or whatever it is. So
can I just show someone? This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
It's good that you can keep it in there. Look, the point with Arteta for me is the issue could be that you actually go backwards by getting rid of him. So I would absolutely not my meeting with him in the summer would be like, mate, you've done so well. You need a little bit more spark in this team, and you have to afford them that opportunity to go. And I would
say, if I met him in the summer, I'd go, Did you do that? Did you bottle it? Did you bottle it? Because what you can do with this bottle of syrup, if you were Arteta, is just drop it in there. It lives there, and the water goes in to the holy bowl. You screw it on. And if you like the taste, you like it, and you can adjust just in there. You can adjust the level of taste you want.
Oh, really?
It's a great way to stay hydrated, guys.
So what I'm saying really with Arteta is, can you turn up the taste for me? Like I get.
Can he do it? It's a great point, Jim. It's like can he do it? They're 5 years on the bounce. 6 years on the bounce, 2 or 3 years of slow progression, and then they've got to a situation where now, and I'm not believing that this is I guess the narrative that's building. I don't necessarily believe it, but can he turn up the taste and win the Premier League? And I'm thinking,
I think he's refusing. He's got a syrup bottle right there, and he's not using it. He's not turning up the taste for 0 sugar and 100% flavour. I don't understand why he's not doing that.
It's very flavoursome,
especially at less than £1 per serving, without compromising on quality. Now, I just feel like he needs to turn up the taste.
Holy moly!
Yeah. By the way, if you want to turn up the taste, guys, we are partnered with Holy. They are our drink sponsor.
Turn up the taste.
You gotta turn up the taste. You got these new shakers, which are good. Still haven't gone for the milkshake. I thought about it today, but then I wanted to turn up the taste.
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest here. I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, I wonder if I will. I think it's got to be done, isn't it? By the way, if you'd like to turn up the taste and get you this gorgeous little bottle as well, it's really good. Then use the link in the description. Jaffin5 for £5 discount on your first order, or just go with Jaffin for 10% off. That's at uk.holy.com/Jaffin. Speaking of, and get yourself moist. Right, end of football chat.
I just want to say one more thing.
You want to do your Leicester thing?
Let me do the Leicester thing. But I think you're crazy if you sack Arteta. He is the right man. I want him to go because you'll see how good he is.
I'm not saying sack him. I'm saying turn up the taste.
Yeah, and the problem with him turning up the taste next season, it will be a case of playing a different brand of football because he's not going to get away with the old sending in missiles at the back post.
He's just popping in a cup.
Doesn't work. Yeah. Doesn't work. Then he's not turning up the taste. He's just drinking plain water. That's what he's doing.
But he's putting like a couple of drops of it in. Turn up the taste.
Turn up the taste. The Leicester thing. Just one final thing on football before we move on to all the exciting stuff. I was listening to TalkSport. It was Hawksby and Jakers, I think. Someone was on, and there was a Leicester fan, and they've obviously just been relegated to League One, and they're in massive financial They're in massive financial problems because they've sold their future earnings to a company who will buy them, and then it will charge you interest on it. So they sold them like £85 million of their future earnings up front, which is now gone, or was used to pay off various bits. And so whatever money they were going to get from competing in the Championship or whatever it might have been, they now owe to... The Spurs have done something similar very recently, so it's a little bit worrying. But yeah, often clubs will say we need cash now, so we're going to ask if you give us £100 million, we'll give you next season's TV money plus £5 million on top. Right. So it's quite common apparently. Anyway, Leicester now are in this difficult situation because they're in League One. If they don't come back up, which they should, but if they don't come back up, then financial issues are significant. I think they have the most expensive wage bill in the Championship. Do you know who had the 20th? Is this right? Is it Coventry?
Really?
20th.
20th?
It can't be more. It can't be less than Oxford's. It can't be, but it was low. I think it was low.
I'll have a little search. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, have a little search. So even as that leave my mouth, I was like, "Is that right?" Anyway, but anyway, this guy was on the radio going, "Would I swap the Premier League and would I still go through what we've gone through in terms of winning the Championship and winning the Premier League rather and winning the FA Cup, but it means that we go out in business in 5 years' time and there has to be a Phoenix club." And he was like, I wouldn't. I don't want I need my club to exist. The Premier League win and the FA Cup win were amazing, but I need my club to exist, and that's more important than anything. And it just got me thinking that winning trophies is amazing. It really isn't the point of football. Like Manchester City fans don't even turn up to their own parades now because they've won, right? Spurs won the Europa League in May, and we could be relegated. I've even thought about that night in Bilbao. Glorious night in Bilbao. But because your Premier League existence is a threat. And I'm just thinking it's the parameters of contentment for a football fan in terms of the time scale, so narrow. So narrow. Do you feel like your football club is moving in the right direction in the last month, and you will feel fine? If you feel that they're moving in the wrong direction in the last month, you'll feel bad. If that's compounded by 8 months of moving in the wrong direction, you feel awful.
Yeah.
And so, as a QPR fan, if you get just, for the love of fucking God, some consistency and you move in the right direction, James, you will feel the same level of contentment as an Arsenal fan in March.
Of course. Like I know that. Is that something new to you? Really?
Yeah, because I've been told for the last 25 years, you haven't won anything. Your club never wins. They're bottle jobs. All these things. I was thinking, oh God, that's important. Win something. It ain't. All that's important is the last 4 games. That's all that's important. Maybe 5 games. Maybe last 6 months where you can feel like there's a plan in place. Do you feel like your club is moving in the right direction? If you feel that genuinely, you are content, and that's all you deserve to be as a football fan. So don't fixate on what 99% of clubs do not win something.
Yeah, we know that, right? But I think the thing is
a lot of people, their minds just gone.
Yeah,
right now.
It's about moments. It's about moments, and it's about moments and pride. That's what you're after, right? And I think that's the difficulty is like for. It's ridiculous, really. Like yesterday, I drove for like an hour and 45 minutes to go to a home game. It was tube strikes. We were 12th. They was 18th. We're now circling the black hole that is 16th, having lost that game. No one was there, and we started talking about Louis Theroux had voiced the new like get your season ticket.
Is he QPR? Is he?
Video? Yeah, he's a QPR fan. And the sort of tagline for them was like unfinished business. And I thought, well, first of all, one person kind of went, oh, hang on, my son's crying. Do you know what, to that point, he's got his fucking QPR away shirt on. Get him. But he, the point is, are you there, Flav? Flav.
Yep.
Right. All right.
I was having fun, Jim. I was having fun. Sorry.
The point, it's about moments. It's about moments, and it's about like Philip Pride. So to this point of this season ticket, right? So we're at this dead rubber, blah, blah, blah. Then we start talking about this season ticket, and they're going, oh, not a good day to announce the season ticket. But I went to the 3 guys I was chatting to around me. I was like, but do you know what? They could put it out any day. Like, what are we doing here? Right now, what are we doing here? Right, they haven't got to worry about us. We're going to buy another season ticket. I've gone on a weeknight to watch an absolute dead rubber that we lost and we were shit. Like, so you will just keep going back. So, but it's the possible. But at the end of that game, we brought on a couple of subs and we sort of popped it about once or twice. And I found myself going, do you know what? If these boys can stay fit, we could do something next year. So to the point of the Leicester fan. I get what he's saying. Like, it is about achieving. You do want to achieve because achieving means moments, means pride, means like incredible stuff. That night in Bilbao, blah, blah, blah. But the possibility for moments is far more important. The possibility for moments
and appreciating those moments in the short term. What is glory in football? It's creating a circumstance or existing in a circumstance and getting the best possible outcome from it. Mm. And that might be being 2-1 down to fucking QPR next year and scoring 2 injury time winners and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, it won't happen. We're going to slap you up.
No, it won't happen. We'll be 3-0 down.
To answer your question, Cov are here, like mid-table.
Okay, I don't know what I must
Leicester,
have read.
look, for them to go down, it's incredible. Yeah, absolutely
let's have what.
QPR
so Leicester
down
are. Oh, mate, look at
QPR.
it. It's massive.
QPR doing right there. It's really good.
Yeah, see, you're overperforming. What are you worried about? Sign up. Your wage bill was less than Oxford's.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
How dare you even consider not renewing, Jim?
Oh, of course, going to bloody silly.
How much does it cost?
I haven't looked.
How much does it cost, James? It's important.
It's normally about like 600.
A pathetic little football game.
That makes us pathetic. Okay. We're not going to do panic rankings this week. We ain't got time.
I think that is great, though. Panic rank, we can do that anytime, Jim. Yeah, I think we should do it.
I think we're good. I think we should be good. Jim Big Life Award, C3131V4U says, I've listened to James for a few years now, but I'm new to him and Flav stuff. I'm genuinely so confused. Then we got the dries have been going after us.
Hang on a second. Before we get into these little slags, I'm surprised how if he's been listening to you for years, why doesn't he know about Jaffin? And the reason is because you put me in the shed. That's why.
It's a safe place. It's the only safe place for you.
It's done well, though. It didn't matter. It had zero impact. All your boys. I remember what Seb was saying. You've got to get Flav off your channel. You've got to get him off your channel. Get him off your channel. I remember exactly how it went down.
Sure, I haven't said this, but like we were as a team, we were all talking about future projects. We were trying to figure out, we got time for everything. And when we spoke about Jaffin, we were like, there's absolutely we always have to have Jaffin. They said that, don't we? They said that.
I'm still in there, boys. I thought at one point.
Especially now we got the Holy on the board. Come on.
You're afraid.
Turn up the taste. Benjamin says, I'm covered in silica gel packets so I can be as dry as possible. 72 likes on that. The dry issue is it's all over the place right now, Flav. Glue Stick says, I've been watching nearly 5 years. Is that long enough or am I old and dry? I'm not in on any of the jokes made pre-Euros 2021, so I feel like I miss out on a good few references, but I get 95% of things these days. Josh replied, said, I second this. Can I be called an old dry? I've been around for 5 years. How dry am I? I can't bother. I don't want to be evicted by these new dries. So let the old dries get a bit worried about the new dries. Ben Quickfall just simply says, and do you know what? I'll show you it, guys. He just says, old, dry, and proud. I wouldn't say that in any other context. But so be it.
Do you know what's been lovely is that, and this is, I know people are kind of, they're loving this kind of like, I am dry and that's who I am. And we love you for being that. I really do. Like, it's not, all jokes aside, it's the fact that you're even saying you're dry is massive.
Yeah.
Because you're a part of the community. But what it's really done is weed out the proper moisties. Because they're signing up in their droves right now to Patreon.
Yeah, we see you.
Yeah.
I see you, Jermaine. Jermaine, I see you. We haven't got time to read your comment now, but Jermaine, I see you. John Jones, I see you as well.
Yeah, legends.
True
so
moist.
While I, enjoy the fact that people are claiming they're dry and feel like they should have some sort of respect. In fact, there's a level of contempt, actually, I think, there for us. I really respect Jermaine and John Jones.
Yeah. Sliding under the radar. But look, it's up for grabs. Finn Bennett says, I'm at uni right now and we have a communal TV in the kitchen. Late last Friday, I was cooking and decided to put on Jaffin episode. Almost instantly, 2 of my flatmates walked in during peak slug chat. I ended up in a half an hour attempt of trying to explain slugs, sauna chat, and Flav's beanies before I eventually got into sausage chat. It ends in the 5 of us rewatching the entire sausage eating ordeal, and by the time we get to the champion, we're in raptures, cheering at the screen. Initially, I was excited I'd brought 4 more slugs into the world, but now I'm left with the dilemma of if I can associate with dry slugs. It's tough. I think you can associate with them, but just know you are better than them.
Jim, I hate that.
What are you saying? Oh no.
No,
you are you doing it?
No, wait.
Okay.
I'm just saying this comes from a place. Look, if we're being honest, you know what we are, right? We know where we've been. We know what we've done, James.
Yeah.
This is 7 or 8 years in the making. This, so we know what we were before. And for me to just notice something and just go, no, I'm going to ignore that because it could create an uncomfortable situation. You don't want to hear this, James.
He's gonna say it. Go on, you got to say it. You have to. We have to be authentic. You have to show integrity. Come on.
I'm calling it.
He's calling it. He's called it.
God, I don't feel good, but I have to. I have to call it Finn Bennett. I need a spoon.
So what is this? We're going to need food. This is 5 of us rewatching the entire sausage eating.
I need
ordeal.
5 of your mates all holding up a spoon.
Yeah.
If you can produce those 5 men and you send that image to James and we can display it on the podcast next week, we're talking about 5 of your friends. I'll take any 5 men in your life because you'll have to do a lot of explaining if this isn't true. If you can get us a picture of you with 4 other men holding spoons, and you get that to James, and he shows it on the podcast, I'll take it back and apologise to you, Finn.
For anyone not aware of what that means, a long time ago, there was an idea that we had a catfish amongst us. A guy who did the pod with us, Tanvir, asked him to get a picture of them holding a spoon. That picture never came. So when Flav calls stuff out...
What was the name? What was the name of that catfish?
Dottie Foster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, to that point of going back and watching the old stuff, there's 220 mailbags. And also, Fam, my wife, was on the mailbag yesterday briefly. So a little treat for people. And Flav is also thinking about releasing the files of me eating chicken, which I can't even remember if that's from this pod or from the mailbag, my disgusting eating habits. But anyway, if you're moist, you know what I'm talking about. It's mental.
No one has had a whole chicken in their hand like this.
Flav,
go big on me, please.
Yeah.
Can you go big on me, please?
Okay. Yeah.
He is, like Hamlet, where he's holding the skull and he's talking into the skull. Frank, James, Frank's my dog. James was driving on a motorway, eating a chicken carcass out of a Tupperware box, one hand on the and one hand eating the carcass like this. And I thought it was a lie. I've seen the image. It is. And I spoke to his wife about it. And this isn't the first chicken incident with James. This is an issue with him.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can release the files on the mailbag next week if you want to.
I will.
So another reason to get involved, Patreon, links in the description. Anyway, in terms of the dryers and the whole slug class system, Coys has put it together. He says, an old dry slug here. Here is how I see the slug class system. You've got the wet elite. You've got the wet, which is brackets the elite class. That's the true moist aristocracy, constantly acknowledged by James and Flav. Catherine equals queen of the slugs, untouchable status. Absolutely.
Correct.
Moist, brackets upper class, loyal supporters, financially committed, look down on the dries, but still remember their humble origins. Sometimes.
Good.
Old dries. Middle class. They've been around long enough to get the jokes. They aspire to moisture, but act as translators for the newer dries. Quietly bitter, but respectable. And new dries, working class. They're the working class. Chaos merchants. They bring energy, confusion, and vibes. They don't understand anything yet. Frequently judged, occasionally resented, but essential to the ecosystem as it looks to continue to grow.
The thing is, James, there's one missing here, and this is the resentful dries. The ones that they're like rebellious.
Yeah,
they're kind
of angry
militia.
Dries. Yeah.
They're like militia dries, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're willing to rise up at the first chance.
Yeah. Love that, by the way. Very, very good stuff.
That was sensational.
Make sure you get involved in the comments. And then this is Dylan Evans. Very funny. Been dry for a few years now. But while driving to see my girlfriend who lives in the north, brackets I'm from South Wales, I started listening to old episodes of the pod. Listening feels like opening a time capsule to ridiculousness gone by. But James doing an impression of Harry Kane eating a bowl of presumably full of goals, and the slight lisp as he slurs out the infamous Kane line of "I like goals," has made me seriously consider the journey to moisture. Brackets,
come on,
more to follow. He says. What
was the one we did with?
Time will tell.
Harry Maguire and eating a sandwich. That was a good time. I can't remember what that was about.
Banana sandwich, wasn't it? He loved a banana sandwich. Apparently. What on bizarre. A lot of sweets. So we had the sweet sharing chat on the tactics board last week. I saw Connor, son of Steve.
So explain, because some people might not have seen. So you spent time creating, using the tactics board, a diagram, a top-down diagram, a seating plan around where James sits at QPR, and he named everybody who sits in the seats around him. There you go, Jim.
Yes. So, pause the pod now. Go back to the last 20 minutes of last week, and we sort of really broke that down a little bit too much. After someone was talking about the situation of if you offer someone a chewing gum Are you a terrorist if you don't eat one yourself? So that led to the sweet chat. Connor, who I sit next to, shout out to Connor. Hello, mate. He's messaged me about it, saying that, he's always been talking about his dad sort of providing the sweets. And so he was pissing himself laughing at it. Steve, shout out to you as well. Apparently there were numerous power moves from our time together. But Connor gave me the actual answer. He said it's simple. It's about the big six, or sweet six, as he likes to say. So you got Steve is the man with the sweets. Sweetie Steve. Okay? Sweet Steve. So he can go two to his right. He's got
in arm's length.
Yeah, he's got his because it's you. Go on, then you're right next to him. You have it. You can then have Connor, his son, and then again he's gone to the second one there. But because I'm with Gary, my dad, next to me, I can then give it to Gary. So I've been sort of pushing it on a little bit too much. Can
I ask a question I didn't ask last week? Does Gary acknowledge Connor for the sweets?
It's not Connor, it's Steve.
Sorry.
Steve's the good the sweets.
But does Gary, your dad, go across and go, cheers, Steve, thanks for the humbug?
Oh, do that. Yeah. Yeah, he does. He does.
Good. And then hang on a second. How far down the line does the acknowledgement, when does it stop? Is it past, Gary's the last one that acknowledges
Gary, it's a hard stop. So it's sort of, as I say, he says it's 6 and no more, according to Connor.
Right.
Okay.
Well, didn't people talk to Connor about this? Like they've heard it and it came to his attention.
Yeah, he was in the box office. He
works at QPR.
Box office Connor, I call him.
How many people are actually listening to this?
I don't know. What in that office, I don't know, but it got sent to him, I think. But he was telling
everyone. Because I think you've been a massive deal in this space, Jim. But at QPR, you're like a god. You must walk around
in the QPR ticket space. I'm pretty big, apparently. Callum Randall. I didn't realize. I don't know if this is our Callum Randall who we used to work with. But if it is, you can do well, mate. So he says. So can we all acknowledge James as the Bernardo Silva of Sweets? Small, nimble, not afraid to connect the play. James being afraid to see how far the Sweets go down his row is something that should never be questioned. You never question the artists in their field. So there you go. That's the counter argument.
How good was Bernardo Silva against Arsenal?
So good. People were saying he was absolutely washed earlier in the season, which I was just
I thought that he'd faded massively, and that's the reason why he's calling time on he was so good.
He's too smart, mate.
You can't do anything like without. You can't fucking do anything when you're playing. What you don't understand, James, right, is when you're playing against Manchester United.
Stuff like that. Go on. What don't I understand?
I don't know why I'm doing this. We're literally in 18th. What you don't understand? No, I would say, James, that having supporting a team when you have to play Guardiola's team twice a year,
right?
And you have so much jeopardy. It was like when me and Ben Bowman did some work for a betting company, right? And we were talking about when we had to watch Messi play Tottenham at Barcelona. Barcelona played Spurs in the season. We got to the Champions League final, and it was like it was a joke. It was a joke. It was impossible. If he decided he wanted to do something, it would happen.
Yeah.
And it was like I was like watching. Even if you know like you've watched millions of games of football and you think you understand the game, you can't articulate how this man did what he did. It was like nothing we could do we would never be able to stop him. He was like a magician on there. And my point is that sometimes you'll go and you're playing Man City or Guardiola in the pomp, and there's nothing you can do if they're playing at 80%. Same with PSG. There's nothing you can do. If they turn up and they play at 80%, you're done. And that is, it's quite demoralising.
Again, this is something I'm fully aware of.
You're not aware of it,
just
James.
At a lower level of quality.
James, tell me a team in the Championship that made you feel that way. There's nothing, really.
But broadly, it's broadly something I've experienced lots of times. No, it's James, so funny. You're saying all this stuff like it's fucking unbelievable. Where 95% of fans have had to deal with it forever.
James, I don't want to wind you up, and I respect your opinion, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Okay. Good.
Right, because you've never sat and watched Lionel Messi do that to your own team?
Well, yeah. All right. At a lower level, yes. Okay, fine.
You tell me, player in the Championship who's done that to QPR, and you think, I don't know how.
Why is it about Championship? The issue is the same. I'm still thinking, how on earth are we going to hang in there? That's the issue is the same. It's just not Lionel Messi. You're fucking me off now.
James, can I just apologise? Sorry.
Right. I respect you.
I'm just getting the last things in before we're down there with you.
Exactly. Right. I cannot wait till we're above you. We start this season well.
It's happening, mate. Unless we fix a lot of things outside of the first 11, it is going to happen.
Got to get some points soon, haven't you? We'll finish with this. Tape guy. I was asking about tape last week. Remember? Like, what's it like being the tape guy?
In the dressing room.
Yeah, and we got a couple. So Tom Bushell says 2 things. 1, I am the tape man. I absolutely know my role. The night before every game, I make sure I have plenty of spare and it's in my bag. It brings me joy seeing everyone pass it around and then look over to give me the little nod. I love that. The only thing I don't like about it is there is always one lad, usually the star player, who absolutely rinses it and uses about 3 meters. It's slightly annoying, but that's just the nature of the job. 2, me and my mate at work will take turns buying extra strong mints to get us through the day. Every time one of us asks the other if we want a mint, we always say, horrible little mint. Horrible little mint. We both know they're awful, but for some reason we still keep buying them, and it's a sort of a tradition now. I think the tradition started as we used to use other sweets, but we work on a bank of 6 desks, and others would get involved taking them, whereas nobody wants a horrible little mint. Always forward. And another tape guy, last one. Fred Fisher. Hi, lads. I'm a tape guy. I do feel I get a power moved most weeks due to handing it out to someone who swiftly passes it along the line of players, eventually coming back to me with little to none left when it arrives. Sometimes it never arrives.
Hang on a second. Aren't you doing a job, though? You're on the same team here, right? You all have our role.
But why is it on him? When everyone else,
because he's the one standing up.
Tape. Everyone bring their own tape.
Can I just ask one final question, Jim? And Tyler the Creates Whore has inspired me. Is Barry Bannon your Lionel Messi?
It's Barry Bannon. No, because I think with him there's a feeling that you should be able to stop him.
Would Adel Taarabt be the Championship's Lionel Messi?
Yeah. I think a player. The point you're making is someone who has the ability to do something at will. And
that you could do nothing about.
Exactly. And that could be Eberechi Eze in the Championship. You know, that can be those kind of players in the Championship. Regardless of the level, it's just about that player and what they can do.
Okay, I've got one more question for you then, Jim. What would Matthias Tell do in the Championship?
He'd do as well as Harry Winks.
That's not true, is it? Come on.
Tough week.
That is a good mate. What's happened to Oliver Skimp and Harry Winks?
You tell me. You said he was really good.
Yeah, no, but what's happened? Have they not played, or they have played and they've been shit?
Here's my theory on that. I actually was talking to my dad about this yesterday. The problem you have when you have big names is there's a reason why they're playing in the Championship. So despite being big names, they're shit. But the other double problem of that is that because they are still big names, the players that aren't big names yet and so have much more hunger and effort are even doubly up for it because you're a name. So it's the double whammy of that makes it an issue.
I get you. It's interesting, though, that because Oliver Skip wasn't shit at Norwich because the environment and the culture was correct.
If you say so. But, I mean, they won games.
You know so. He played against QPR.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember him. Honest. Don't remember him. But, yeah.
Dude,
right.
Just say I respect you and I'm sorry if I've upset you.
That's it. Why do you keep saying that? It's like a power move. Guys, get yourself an Aura frame. Get yourself
100%.
some holy.
Mate, this bottle is sensational. Every sip I take is like glorious elderflower and lime.
There you go. Guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Share it to your mates. Get new sluggies involved. Have a great weekend and we will speak soon. Bye-bye.